As we get more interested in becoming more so than overcoming, the overcoming takes care of itself with greater finesse than just like tackling this problem head on. Well, hello there, prosperity seeker. Welcome to another episode of The Prosperity Approach. I'm your host, Allyson Chavez. And seriously, I am so grateful and so appreciative that you're here with me. You have so many options today with everything. And what an honor and a privilege it is to me that you're finding value in this podcast, hopefully, and that you're here for another episode. So let's talk about overcoming versus becoming. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. What's the difference? Is one better than the other? Is there a time to use one over the other? And really, is there a difference between the two? And I say, yes, there absolutely is. I've been fascinated with masculine energy and feminine energy and how each one presents themselves, how we behave and how we show up in both masculine and feminine energy. And we're really in this time of the history of the world where there's a lot of overcoming. Like there's a lot of challenges going on with us personally and globally and in our communities, in our families, in our own personal growth and our own journeys. And so I've really been just mulling over like, what's the best way to overcome challenges or overcome obstacles? And is there a better way than others? And, I think we were all raised of this idea of like enduring and conquering and overcoming and enduring and conquering and overcoming. And to me, there's a lot of bracing that's involved with that. To me, overcoming and becoming are two sides of the same coin. We've got the masculine side and the feminine side. So both of them have their place, but there are definite times to use one over the other. And in my own experience, I'm a pretty darn good overcomer. I've overcome a lot of things. Most of the things I've overcome, I was the one who put them in my own path. If you can relate, just nod your head and I'll feel it. Like, oh my gosh, I've made things so much harder than they actually need to be in my life from this place of overcoming, and I've wanted to overcome. And to me, there is a lot of bracing. There's like a lot of like preparing and like there's this masculine sense of like pounce and attack and let's tackle this thing. Encapsulates overcoming, this idea of overcoming. In a more empowered way, it sounds like challenge accepted, right? Challenge accepted. Let's tackle this. There was a song sung by Kelly Clarkson a long time ago. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. To me, that's overcoming. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You just face this head on and you just take care of this. Like get the obstacle moved out of the way and let's overcome this. Now, that's masculine and that has its place and there's a lot of value there. But is it the best thing for us to do as women to be in this constant state of overcoming? All right, here's this coming up. I've got to overcome this. I keep sabotaging myself with food. I've got to overcome that. Oh, I have this belief I'm running that I'm not enough. So I've got to overcome that. And oh, I'm afraid to have really powerful relationships because if my spouse actually knew how crazy I was and all of my ideas, he wouldn't go for that. So I got to overcome that. I don't know about you, but it just puts me in a huge headspace and a huge spin and I don't like it. But again, overcoming has its place, just as becoming does as well. Both of them are incredible character builders. We will be required to overcome challenges and obstacles throughout our life. That's part of why we're here. It's to experience contrast. It's to experience the freedom of choice. And then also the rewards that are attached to obeying laws and the penalties that are attached to disobeying laws. And here I'm talking about universal laws of prosperity and creation. But we're here to experience contrast and opposition. And there are things that will just sometimes they just knock us over and sometimes they come out of the blue. Other times it's other people's decisions that have affected us in a negative way. Many times it's our own decisions that act as obstacles. And so we're in this state of overcoming all the time. And it's great. And yet sometimes it's just so darn exhausting, isn't it? And I have been obsessed with the idea of becoming, because that's what expansion is. It's the art of becoming, but there's skill involved in the becoming. It's also a process, which means time is involved with the becoming, and time is also involved with the overcoming as well. But I really think that if you are focused more on leading out with the becoming, like you're more interested in becoming that next version of you, that higher level self, if you're more interested in that, you naturally overcome things in ways that are filled with ease and pleasure and delight to you. So since we're in this experience, we're in a universe of expansion, we're here to increase, we're here to experience contrast, to experience challenges and obstacles. But I think that as we get more interested in becoming more so than overcoming, the overcoming takes care of itself with greater finesse than just like tackling this problem head on. So in my own life, I've looked at how that's shown up for me. When I was big, people get a lot of value out of overcoming challenges, and rightly so, myself included. But as I have been more focused and more really interested on the becoming part, I realized that my thinking shifts just a little bit. Instead of challenge accepted and let's tackle this, into, first of all, setting the ground rules that only good can come of this. Even those things that are enormously painful to me and very heartbreaking and that initially feel so much bigger than me, declaring and claiming that only good can come of this experience, using the universal law of utilization that says that everything happens for a reason, and that reason is to assist me to get me to what I want. And also claiming that this particular issue, challenge, problem, I like to take out the drama of the challenge or the problem and just call it an issue. That this issue is here because I'm ready for it. I can handle it. I think this is the beginning of the process of becoming. It's becoming the woman who handles life's surprises and life's sucker punches with grace and with finesse and with humor and with flow and with expectation of a really great outcome. And that can absolutely be done when you're focused on the becoming. So when I've had hard things come up, it's that first initial thought of, well, this is here to help me. Only good can come of this. And I am a level 10 woman with a level 3 issue, which means this obstacle is not so huge that I'm dwarfed by it and I have no idea to overcome it. This is here because it's actually going to assist me in getting me to that next level and getting me to what I want, that desire that I have for deeper, more meaningful relationships, that desire I have for genuine, authentic self-love, the desire I have for a really rich, deep relationship with God, a desire I have to live the lifestyle that is in my heart that I have been afraid to voice before. The traveling first class, the 5-star accommodations, the massages 2 or 3 times a week, just because that's what I desire. The remodeled kitchen, the living in Maui, whatever those desires are that you're afraid to share with others because they feel a little embarrassing to you because they feel so big in the moment. Like this issue, this contrast, this obstacle is here to actually get you to where you want to go. That's part of the process of becoming. That's where the becoming starts. And then I ask myself, well, who must I be in order for this experience to not even be an issue? Who must I be? What would that next level version of me think about this? What would that next level version of me, what would my behavior be? What would I think about? What would I talk about? How would I handle this? What would I do so that I can navigate through this with ease and with humor and as smoothly and as quickly as possible? What would she feel throughout this experience? What would she demand she feels throughout this experience? I call that setting the terms. What are the terms of navigating through this issue? What must she feel? And where we get into like the overcoming or we get into trying to micromanage the journey is when we're trying to set the terms, we're trying to set the terms of how long this is going to last and exactly all the players and how everything is going to fall into place to get us through the challenge to get you to your promised land. Those aren't the terms that are going to help you. The terms that you set are, how must I feel through this? Must I feel peace? Must I feel some humor? Must I feel lighthearted? Must I feel supported? Whatever it is that you require to feel throughout that issue, those are terms that God and the universe are very happy to meet because you're not trying to micromanage any part of the how. It actually puts you into flexibility. It puts you into flow. It allows the unfolding without you getting in there and screwing up the unfolding because you think it should look a different way. It's such powerful, empowered feminine energy that you're creating in and that you're becoming. So if you have that down about what would she feel through this experience, and you get to ask yourself, well, then what must I feel through this experience? We have so much divisiveness going on today. We have so much contention going on, and it can make us feel intimidated. It can trigger us so easily. And so we can go into that bracing and into that fighting and into that challenge accepted. Let's tackle this head on. Let's attack this. And like I said, there are times where that is absolutely appropriate. But if you'll lead out with the becoming, what must this experience feel like? What do I require to navigate through this? Again, with grace and with ease and with some humor and with joy and feeling supported. When you'll start with that, you're actually leading out with the being, and that is feminine energy. You then allow yourself to be supported with the masculine energy of doing. Because when you're overcoming, when you're in that overcoming energy, you're like, challenge accepted. Let's face this head on. I'm going to tackle this. And then we put this outer strategy in place to get over that obstacle. All right, I'm going to hit the gym at 6 o'clock every morning. I'm going to limit my calorie intake to X amount of calories. I'm going to cut out sugars. I'm going to cut out this, that, and the other. Here's my outer game strategy to overcome this weight issue I have. We're going to tackle this once and for all, which is great. But who do you want to be throughout this process? What's the experience of this overcoming self-sabotage through food? What's the experience that you insist on having and that you require yourself to have? That's the being part. That's the becoming part. And that's when you lead out there, it makes the doing so much easier because the doing is the supporting role. And then you get other players that move in, other opportunities that move in, perhaps programs or a personal trainer, if we're going along with this weight loss example. Like you have people and programs and opportunities that just very naturally click into place that help you with that outer strategy, but also assist in the ease if that's what that next level version of you insists upon experiencing. Just like that expansion that you must feel, that enoughness that you must feel, that this isn't bigger than you. Is actually divinely orchestrated to get you exactly where you desire to end up. Juicy, isn't it? Spend some time thinking, are you in overcoming more often than you are in becoming? We're really, really good at the doing. We get tripped up on the being more often than not. And pop in the comments below if you're more comfortable with the doing than you are with the being, because the being feels so esoteric. This episode has helped you to realize actually the being gets to be really, really simple. And the becoming is very simple, which allows us to very naturally overcome and create the reality we desire on our terms with the experience we desire along the way, which naturally brings joy to the journey, more light to the world, more light to yourself, and the physical results that you desire. If you want some help with this, Or if you just want to stay and play in this energy of the becoming and the energy of the feminine, and what are the tools that we as divine feminine have inherent to us that help us to create success without struggle, come play with us. We are starting our next online workshop called The Prosperity Experience, Success Without Struggle, where you're going to learn all these things, the art of becoming, your next level of relationships where you show up authentically, unapologetically you, and everyone is empowered because of that. Never be afraid to spend money or feel guilty about spending money ever again, because you're going to understand how money actually works. What's the difference between the masculine and the feminine? How do we lead out with empowered feminine? What do we show up like when we're in empowered or disempowered energy? We've got all of that we're going to map out for you and unpack for you, plus so much more. We've got bonus sessions that we're going to be doing for you. This is totally free. You're going to get a playbook to help you anchor in what you're going to learn in each session. If you can't be there live, you're going to get access to the replays. Most important, you're going to get your very own success expert that's going to guide you through this, customize this experience to you with that white glove service that is almost unheard of these days, because what we are after for you is transformation. And we know that information does not lead to transformation. However, implementation of good information leads to transformation. And you're going to get your very own success expert that's going to help you implement, because we want you to transform. So click on the link below in the show notes, or go to prosperityapproach.com/challenge. Get yourself registered and we'll see you there. We're starting very soon. And until then, remember, prosperity becomes you.